Good day, everyone. Today we're going to talk about viewpoint. In this video, we are going to learn what do you mean by viewpoint and why is this important in our lesson. Before we talk about the meaning of viewpoint, let us have first a word search. This word search is already been published or presented in menti.com. Later, we're going to find out how many of you have already responded to our menti.com activity. In this word search, you are going to find words that we usually belong. Now, let's proceed to Mentimeter and let's check how many of you have responded. So in this activity, 8 of you have already responded, and I'm still going to open this activity later until tomorrow. So let's go to our activity. These are the words that you are supposed to find in the word search. First, we have the word family. Next, culture, neighborhood, nationality, friendship, gender, school, religion, sports club, Facebook, youth club. In these sets of words, or in these words, you will notice that these are mostly groups. These are groups, for example, family. Every one of us has a family. And also, when you say culture, every one of us has a culture. Or our country has a culture different from other countries. Neighborhood, we have our neighborhood. We belong to one neighborhood. Nationality, we belong to one nationality, which is we are Filipino. Friendship, we have different friends, but we belong to a group of friends. Gender, gender is also grouped as to male or female. And also school. We go to Aurora A. Quezon Elementary School, and some of your friends may not go to our school, they go to other schools. So we are grouped according to our school. And also religion. Not all of us belong to one religion. Some of you are Protestant. Some of you are born-again Christians. Some of you are Aglipayan. And some of you are Muslims. And also, some of you belong to sports club. It could either be tennis club, baseball club, or Milo club. Then Facebook. In Facebook, you may also have groups, which is in our class, we have our grade 5 Kubakum class, and also you have other groups with your subject teachers. And also, we have youth club. Now, let's talk about this picture. What do you notice in this picture? I want you to list down the things that you notice in this picture. Now, let's proceed to your answers. If your answer is men lining up, men are in the airport, there are people wearing PPE, men boarding the bus, yes, you are correct. Based on the picture, you notice what they are doing. But now, let's take a look and let's observe the picture and see, let's find out who are these people and why are they in this place. What do you notice? Why do they have luggage? And look at the signboard. If they are in the airport, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Now, if your answer is this, you are correct. Those men are OFW. OFW means overseas foreign workers. Whenever we see people arriving at the airport, especially a group of people wearing this or carrying heavy luggages and having pasalubong or gifts or present for their family, they are usually or oftentimes called OFWs. So whenever we see people in the airport arriving in the airport, we oftentimes say that they are OFWs, and that is a fixed idea that we have already that these people are OFW. Now, why do we say that these people are OFW? Because this is what we call our viewpoint. What do you mean by viewpoint? Will you read that for me? Will you read the meaning for me? Yes, viewpoint. Noun, a mental position from which things are viewed. So this is how you view based on what you see. This is how your mind processes based on what your eye sees. Also, a viewpoint is also a place from which something can be viewed. So, a picture or an image may create several meanings or interpretations. It conveys viewpoints, which are intentionally expressed by the illustrators, and may convey more varied viewpoints based on the eyes and perspective of the viewers. A viewer may just look at the basic elements of an image, but he or she may also view an image with in-depth appreciation, just like the activity that we have from the pictures. The first time that I show you the picture is that you answered only the basic elements of the image that you see. But when we studied the picture, you realize that these people in the picture are OFWs. So definitely, an image or a picture has many meanings. So, images or pictures also with less or no text at all still provide rich information. They deliver easier recall and interesting approach to learn things as they express topics and issues in an engaging manner. Such images may express opinions, beliefs, or feelings that may have the idea of stereotype. So now, what do you mean by stereotype? Stereotype is defined as a fixed idea or image that many people have of a particular type of person or thing, but which is often not true in reality. For example, you meet a girl who wears clothes typical for boys. If you assume or think that she is a tomboy or a lesbian because of how she looks, then that is already a form of stereotype. Meaning, if you see a girl wearing typical cloth for a boy and then you at that instant at that instance you judge the girl that she is a tomboy or a lesbian, and that is a stereotype. Age refers to a particular stage in someone's life. Example, infant, toddler, young, children, etc. Gender also refers to the behavioral, cultural, or psychological traits typically associated with one sex. Example, male, female, gay, and etc. This is an example of stereotype, wherein there is a division between the gender, the male, and the female. Also, this is an example of age stereotypes, wherein in some cultures, age is a virtue, while in others, it may seem to be a curse. We all find that as we get older, certain things are expected for us. Many older people feel themselves discriminated against in areas such as work, housing, and sports. With the average age of populations around the world increasing and care improving, many countries are finding that the expectations and laws regarding age needs to be reconsidered. So based in this picture, you notice that as soon as you become older, you become discriminated. You feel discriminated. So those senior citizens are left or felt discriminated because of their age. Now, culture refers to the customs, arts, social institutions, and achievements of a particular nation, people, or other social group. This is an example of culture. Other countries, we have in the Philippines, we have our own culture, and so as the other countries. The other countries around us, even in Asia, in Europe, in America, they are different from one another. Now, so let's talk about some Filipino stereotypes. Here, based on the picture that I have shown you a while ago, they say that Filipinos abroad are only capable of low-income jobs, and that is a stereotype, meaning whenever your parents go to abroad, they only get a small amount of money or salary. Next, this picture means a lot, and the statement here is white is beautiful. Do you believe that being white is beautiful? Why? Nowadays, or at present, that people are being open-minded. They do not believe that being white is beautiful. But still, there are people that try to be white, that wants to have their skin as white as snow because they believe that white is beautiful. Now, this is an example of a stereotype also in the family. Before, or I think at present, Filipinos or some Filipinos still believe that women should stay at home and takes care of the family, while the men must go out, must get a job, and earn a living for their family. Now, in this picture, you notice that the man has a lot of money than the women. Now, in this picture, you notice that the man has a lot of money while the woman has a lesser money. This is an example of stereotype in job promotion and in salary, wherein they prioritize the men over the women way, way before. But now, a lot of people or a lot of institutions, they also promote equality and gender equality, most especially to women, because women can also be as successful as the man. Because women can also be as successful as the men, and they deserve more salary, more money, as also the man is receiving. Now, there is also a stereotype when we say old people, because when we see old people, what do we think? They are, some of them are weak, some of them are mentally slow, and they are physically slow because of their age, and they have hard time of hearing, and also they need eyeglasses to see you, and some of them are annoying, and some of them are hard-headed. Okay, that's what we picture about people. Also, we have stereotype between children and teenagers. Whenever you hear of the word children and whenever you see children, they are always playful, naive, excitable, and simple. However, for teenagers, they become stubborn, lazy, hormonal because of their hormonal changes, sloppy, argumentative, spotty, shallow, alcoholic, and technophiles, meaning they are more into gadgets. Also, this stereotyping or cultural stereotyping is the portrayal of people or places through a few obvious characteristics. Stereotyping is not only hurtful, but it is wrong. Even if the stereotype is correct in some cases, constantly putting someone down based on your own preconceived perception will not encourage them to succeed. So, in this statement, some stereotypes are also correct, but it can be hurtful in some cases. And being hurtful is wrong. So, this is an example of cultural stereotyping. Whenever you see Muslim, first thing that you think is they are terrorists, but they are not. Some of them may be, but not all of them. And whenever you see Chinese people, you often think that they cannot see because of their small eyes, but actually they can see. And also, whenever you see black people or people with curly hairs, they think, some people think that their hair are fake, but actually their hair are real or is real. In some countries, arranged marriage is still a practice, but to a woman, she must have her own decision to marry whoever she wants to marry. And aside from that, there is also another form of stereotyping of color. People should not be differentiated of their color. And also, in other countries, whenever you see this kind of people who are big, they will put you or they'll give you or they will make bad things. Filipinos are often thought of, they are always late, especially in having meetings. So we, you as is, so you as the young generation, you have to counter stereotype this. You have to prove them that Filipinos are not always late. And also Filipinos are being taught that whenever Filipinos see foreigners, Filipinos often thought that foreigners are all rich. But not all foreigners are rich. And also, Filipinos thought that all non-Asian foreigners are tourists, but they are not. So again, what do you mean by stereotyping? Stereotyping is generalizing a group of individuals based on their race, religion, culture, belief, and many more. It may be a public belief or may not be an accurate reality and is different from one's point of view. So remember, in our lesson of point of view, the author can decide what point of view he wants to write on his story. Also, you have your own point of view wherein you, your viewpoint may differ from one another. So with this, I want you to write a stereotype sentence based on the given concept map. I have here an example of 3 keywords: mothers, hardworking, Filipino. So to make this in a sentence, Filipino mothers are hardworking. So in the next slide, you are going to create your own sentences. So write your answer on your paper or on your notebook and check your answer later. Now, if you are done, let's check if your sentence is correct. So here's an example of a stereotype wherein whenever you see English teachers, people thought that they are the best, but actually there are a lot of teachers that are really great, that are really good, that are really better than English teachers. Now, if you are done with your sentence, let's see if your sentence is correct. So, Filipino athletes are competitive. This stereotype is good. Remember, some stereotyping in some cases are good, but most of the time it is hurtful. And this stereotype is good because, as we all know, Filipino athletes are competitive. Now, read the keywords and create your own sentence. Let's see if your answer is correct. Let's see if your sentence is correct. So here, young men are better than old men. So this is a stereotype wherein Filipino believe that young men are better than old men and they are being prioritized, and young men are prioritized, especially in job promotion or job placement than old men. Let's check if you have created the correct sentence. Okay, so this is a stereotype wherein Filipinos or other people believe that men are better than women, but at present times, women, or there are a lot of people who do not believe in this stereotype or idea anymore. And we all know that a lot of women are successful than men rather. Let's see if you can create a better sentence from this. Okay, let's check. So, this is also a stereotype in our country that other countries believe that Philippines is a dangerous country. This became a fixed idea because of a lot of happenings, a lot of bad things happened in our country in the past few years. But you as a young generation, you have to prove that Philippines is a worthwhile or is the best country in the world. Now, let's check if your answer or if you have created a sentence out of this concept. Most Filipino family are still practicing this, but you as a woman, but you as a young generation, you have to counter stereotype this, that you have to believe that any one of you can be successful, that a family or both wife and husband can go to work and be successful, and a wife can be as successful as the husband. So what do you mean by counter stereotype? Counter stereotype viewpoints or opinions should be developed and are highly encouraged to promote respect and acknowledge differences. This can be expressed through images that communicates positive illustrations and representations. So counter stereotype is a point of view or your own opinion that encourage respect and equalization of men and women, that women can be as successful as men, that old people can also do work just like the young people. So these are some examples of stereotypes and counter stereotypes that we can do. Men are better for job promotions. The counter stereotype is men and women should be treated equally for promotions. All people should leave the workforce. So whenever you feel old or whenever a person is old already, in a stereotype world, you have to leave the workforce because you are no longer needed. But in a counter stereotype, all people should be employed based on their skills, not by their age. Asians are typecast for their similarities. People believe that all Asians have similarities, but Asians have unique and positive qualities. So therefore, every country is different from one another, as well as us, me, you, or whoever you are, or your friends are. We are different from one another, and we are unique, and we have positive qualities also. Men always need to rescue women in films and literature. In stories, even in fairy tales, women should need to be rescued by men. But now, films and literature should highlight strong and independent women. Remember the movie Moana or the Disney films Moana, Frozen, wherein there are no men who rescue women. Young men are always best choices for jobs. Do you believe that? Now, age and gender should never be basis for job vacancies. So when men and women should be equal for job placements. So there you go.